In this video, we're going to walk through replacing the gaskets, baskets, and screens on the La Marzocco Linea Espresso Machine. The tools that you're going to need for that are a stubby flathead screwdriver, an awl, food grade grease, and then your replacement gaskets, baskets, and screens. First things first, we're going to remove the portafilters. Then we're going to take our stubby screwdriver and remove the diffuser screw and the diffuser screen. Set them aside. Next, we're going to remove the group gasket. There's a rubber gasket that's up inside the group that we're going to use our awl to pierce and then pry that out. If the gasket has been sitting in there for a long time, it's going to be more dry and wanting to crumble and break apart. So the longer you wait to replace this, the more difficult it's going to be. We typically recommend replacing the group gasket every quarter. You can let it go a little bit longer, but eventually your group gasket is going to leak between the portafilter and the gasket. And just clean that area out, make sure nothing's stuck up there. I'm going to take my new gasket. I already put my grease on here. If you didn't, you can just wipe a little bit of grease on the inside of the gasket. This part is a little bit easier if you have a pair of gloves to use, because your fingers are going to pretty much be touching the inside of the group head, which is hot. So I'm going to just push that gasket up into the groove there, and then use a portafilter, lock it into place. You got to kind of push up on the portafilter and lock it into place to force the gasket up into position. Next, we can inspect our screen that we pulled out earlier. If that is dented or damaged anyway, you're going to want to replace that. Mine's fine, so I'll just leave it in. Then we can also take our portafilter and remove the basket. Look at the bottom of the basket and the inside of the basket. If there's any dents on the bottom of the basket or any cracks in the side of the basket, or it just looks like there's too much wear on the basket, then you're going to want to replace that. And if you're replacing one basket, it's best to just replace both baskets, just so they have an even amount of wear and they're both acting the same in how they're pulling espressos. Once we do that, we can replace our screens. We're going to screw our screens in finger tight and then use our screwdriver to just slightly tighten it. This doesn't need to be very tight at all, just so that it's securely up in the group head. And then we'll replace our portafilters, and we're done.